Hey guys, if you recognize the two Asians on the screen, you may have seen us in things from the last 4 or 5 years, like this.
Woo!
Shots. And you may have remembered us from other stuff like this.
Camp Anawana, we hold you in our hearts.
And when we think about you,
It makes me wanna. Babies, man.
And finally, for me, you might remember my voice from something like this.
despacito, quiero expresar tu pueblo despacito.
Deja que diga cosas al oído. Para que ustedes no estás conmigo.
Despacito, quiero desnudar
So that's the projects that we've been up to in the last 4 or 5 years, and we're going to bring that all together in this one conglomerated video, and hopefully one conglomerated channel. This is the Hyper Nerds Revenge. Hey, Will.
That is the coolest cutscene ever. That's the first time I saw it. That is the awesomest thing I've seen all day.
It's only the beginning, sir. It's only the beginning. So, a lot's happened in the last, let's say, 4 or 5 years, right? Our last video together, I think, was a Shoryuflicks movie review. I'm not sure which one it was now. I think it was Star Wars.
I hope we ended on a high note.
We ended on Force Awakens, believe it or not, I think. Because then I continued with some one-offs, and then we just decided to stop it because life. Speaking of which, for those you don't know, and if you can't read the title at the bottom, my name is Mersky. This is my boy.
Woo!
Still got it. Yeah, lots happened the last 4 or 5 years. I've had 2 more kids, so I have now 3. And Will recently just got married and has how many kids now?
Yeah, I kind of went the fast track. I went straight to 3. So I have my 2 stepdaughters and my baby daughter that we actually just turning a year and a half in next month.
Nice. And with that, that's a nice transition to get into Dadlife. So, Will, how is Dadlife?
Yeah, it is a roller coaster, my friend.
What are the ages of your girls? You have 3 daughters now.
I
2
have 3
stepdaughters
daughters,
and one daughter.
Yeah, I love to say that one's 10, one's 8, one's a year and a half. But I don't even call my stepdaughters anymore. They're just my daughters. So I'm super blessed, man.
That's cute. How's COVID been with and distance learning, like within the so we were on lockdown March. Cool. I think everybody was since March, and then we did remote learning here up until June, and then obviously summer, and now today was their first day of school. So I don't know, when the girls start school for you?
So they start on Thursday. I'm glad that we actually haven't talked about this yet. I'm curious about how every state is doing it different. So you're Jersey, I'm New York, I'm Westchester County, you're Bergen County.
Bergen County, yeah.
I'm wondering, do you guys give an option towards what sort of learning style they're gonna have?
If I know correctly from Fran, we had the option to do hybrid, and then the option to just do strictly remote, and then they decided just to go remote up until November, and they're going to evaluate. So the kids are going to be remote learning till November, and I think they're going to evaluate for the next semester. I think after the holiday, they're going to decide whether or not they're going to do hybrid or not.
Yeah, ours is very similar in terms of situation. So we got an option: you do a hybrid model
Hmm.
or do full remote, and enough people respond. I think it was like over 200 something families that responded like no, 100% remote, including us.
Hmm.
Uh, for us, it was right away. We knew that we wanted to 100% remote if it was an option because not to be bleak, but
Hmm.
all of us know there's going to be a case within the first month. And
Hmm.
for us, it's about consistency. I'd
Yeah.
rather have 100% remote from the get go, and we'll see where it goes in November.
Did they tell you how they were gonna have the classrooms set up for when they go in?
No, that's the thing too. Like they give us no clarity about like how they're going to go about in keeping our kids safe. So
Hmm.
it's kind of like as much as I want to trust the school district because we're in a pretty good school district, but
Yeah.
the nightmares I've been seeing, I didn't want to even remotely consider that option.
Right. I mean, same thing here. I mean, if we thought about it pretty hard because the one thing with X and Annalise is that they have a set of friends. Annalise was just starting to make friends in kindergarten, and they enjoyed school for that specific reason, to see their friends. And we actually had to take that in consideration because I think the last couple months that they were homeschooled, they really just started missing their friends a lot. And when the option came out for hybrid or remote, we really had to think about it because we didn't. First of all, they need social interaction. Second, it's a little bit of a break because we'll just have Dominic, and
That's right.
one's easy to take care of than three.
Oh my goodness.
At the same time, but like at the end of the day, it was all about their safety, and we really just had to say, yeah, we can suck it up for a little bit longer until there's a vaccine or until hopefully like it's under better control. So I don't know. What did you guys? What was your thought process on that?
I mean, ours is similar. I guess in a way, we're a little bit more fortunate in the sense that our girls never really missed going to school for the sense of like necessarily being with friends, but more so they missed actually being in like the classroom setting and like learning from the teacher in front of them. So good thing or bad thing, I'm not sure they didn't miss anybody. That's a whole other thing. But that leads me to another thing where they've established friendships now with people that they wouldn't have necessarily because of the fact that now they're interacting in a different way. So what I notice is that because after COVID really hit, the realization that they can't see their friends, I lifted the shit. That's not my thought. I lifted the reins. Yeah, I lifted the reins down.
Took the reins off.
Yeah, here we go. We took the reins off of how often they can use the devices.
Okay.
And so what led to them, thank you Minecraft, but help actually my oldest, my 10-year-old, establish like these 2 or 3 real like solid friendships that she never had before that they talk every single day. Before that, she was really struggling to make friendships, in person because she just socially has like a little bit of a hard time like figuring out how to navigate making friends still.
Gotcha. Yeah. I mean, they're at that age though too where they would form their little cliques or their little friendship groups had they been in school, and for X, he has his boys, quote unquote. Jesus. And huh?
Is he saying that already?
Yeah. So one of the side effects of this, on a side note, actually this is going to be a big tangent that we're going to go off on, is we were going to give him his own phone, I think, when he got to middle school, which is 6th grade. And I think it quarantine kind of made us do it a little bit early.
Oh, he got his own phone.
So he's got one of my old phones. I get him a new phone. Hello. That's Dadlife. So he's got my old iPhone 7. It's not hooked up yet. Like, we usually just call him through Wi-Fi. He's old enough now also to just be here, at least with one grown up. And, we'll call him via Wi-Fi just to make sure. And he can call us too, just to make sure we're okay, which is good. But, he doesn't have Instagram. He had his YouTube channel, which he kind of just abandoned. But
Oh,
what
wow,
he got
I
into,
loved it.
and this is partly Fran's doing, is TikTok. And I was very much in the beginning. I know Fran will tell me, he's like, you never supported my TikTok, and I didn't because it was just another social media that I had to worry about. That I would have to worry about. I had abandoned Snapchat totally, and I'm just like strictly Instagram and YouTube and occasionally Facebook. But I saw that artists are on TikTok. So obviously I do drawing and I do the digital art stuff. So I decided to make my own TikTok account. But something weird happened. So I did one initial video of the Hulk, of me drawing the Hulk.
Yeah.
And I got decent reviews. But then I did a one-off video after that of a so I don't know if you know, you don't do TikTok, do you? From your reaction. Or do you?
My wife used to like show me stuff on it, but I literally have no idea what the idea of the platform is.
So it's if you remember Vine, it's basically a more refined version of Vine, I think.
All video.
Yeah, it's all video. It's pretty creative actually if we think about it. With when you break it down to the people that actually put the effort into it, and not people that are just shaking their butts or showing off their workouts on there. I'll admit there's a lot of creativity on TikTok, and here's why I say this. It's because I did the Hulk video, and then I did a one-off because in TikTok you can actually take the sound of someone else's video and use it as yours and do your version of it. Okay, so there was a sound. Yeah, it's weird. It was weird at first, and then there's a sound, and this might actually pique your interest if you ever have any time to do it. But there was a sound where some gentleman asked Siri, "Hey Siri, call my girlfriend," and Siri talks back and says, "Which one?" And then the video, and this is totally like set up too. I don't think it was real to begin with, but the girlfriend that's next to him looks over at him and smacks him. So I said, "Oh, this is cute." So the setup was I have me, and then back here, X's computer used to be. I moved it upstairs, but X was behind me with Annalise, and I told him, "Hey, I'm gonna do a TikTok real quick. Just when Siri talks and says which one, just turn around and go like this." And then we did it, and I didn't think anything of it. It was towards the end of the night. We all went to sleep. I woke up the next day, and then it was like 1,000 followers after that. I was like, what? On my second video, and Fran was so mad because she got into it. I mean, it piqued her creative side to do TikTok, just to kind of as an outlet. Yeah. And she had only at that point, I think 20 something followers, and she had already done like 10 or some odd videos. And then her cousin also was the same situation. My cousin, same situation. All her her friends and all the godmothers of the kids, had only a certain amount of followers after doing so many videos, and they all got. I know they were all like, just like, what the hell? He does 2 videos and has so many followers. I'm just like, this was a fluke. But I've used that because that video is still going too, and now I'm up to like 3,800 followers, which is weird.
Wow.
But yeah, that's it. It's a new outlet too, and it's not just now from doing silly videos. I parlayed that into doing the art stuff in there, and people are getting to know to see that more also, which is good. So yeah, that's kind of what I've been up to, other than work, and then doing the YouTube channel here. So like, what's the last 6 months have been like for you?
When you take a step back and you think about everything, it's kind of like, whoa. Like you've seen that thing on Facebook, right? Where it's like a list of everything that's happened in 2020 so far.
And it feels like this is the longest year ever. Yeah.
It's like mind blowing that number of things we go through, or like the planet's going through it in general. Like, what, California's on fire right now?
Yeah.
Like legit on fire, and nobody's talking about like anything else. But that's like a small segment of the news. That would have been a big deal last year.
Yeah.
Now it's like, oh, California's on fire. Well, let's talk about everything else still.
Yeah, 2020. This has been. I don't know about you, but this has been the most. Not for me personally, just in the world. Like for everything that's been going on, I think our family's been doing okay. Like,
Yeah.
we're blessed to not have to be where the riots are, and we weren't really too financially affected, thank God. For everything else, right?
I stayed employed this entire time and stayed at the same job, and my company's actually gotten bigger during this time, dude.
Yeah,
it's crazy. I mean, so I feel super blessed, like, and you and I have been working remote too, so I've been working remote for a while, and it just laments the fact that working remote full time is doable.
Yeah, if this is one good thing that come out of this is that I've learned to do my job from home, and it's proved to my my colleagues that I don't need to be in the office every day of the week. Although, like, I wouldn't mind going for 1 or 2 days just to break it up a little bit.
Yeah.
But yeah. So
I do miss face to face though. I will leave it at that.
What's up?
I do miss the face to face interaction.
Yeah. I miss interacting with different people and being able to talk about different things, so to speak.
And you have to do errands while working because you're home.
So what's hard? So is it harder to work from home, or is it harder to be in the office?
I can't really answer that 100%. Because I've never really. Well, my job, like, what I do currently is what I've been doing for a while, and the only way I've been doing has been 100% remote.
Okay.
I can tell you, we're talking about the retail setting, right? Which is how we met, right?
Yeah. We used to work for a digital food company, by the way, for anybody that doesn't know that.
I don't know which one you're talking about.
Yeah.
Forrest Company, I mentioned it. I don't know.
Easy investor. That was really the autobiography of Steve Jobs.
Right? Imagine Steve Jobs running away from bullies. I miss it sometimes. I miss, like, the energy of retail, like being in that environment. Because that was my office back in the day. I worked, up in the Apple store up until my early 30s, and so for me, Apple stores are my office.
Yeah.
So I absolutely love working 100% remote though. All jokes aside, like, it's been such a blessing because while you feel kind of isolated sometimes working from home while everyone else is doing their own thing downstairs, it's still a blessing because the fact that you get to still be there and not have to hear about things through text.
Yeah, that's the one great thing I think is working from home, is that you're there to watch your kids grow, to actually experience. For me, it's to actually experience what my wife is going through, raising 3 kids when I technically wasn't home because I was away at work. And there's a newfound respect, I think, for my wife and the way she runs the house and actually has to handle the kids, and you have an understanding of why she's the way she, if she's had a long day, or if she's had she had a good day, you'll know why. If she had a long day or just kind of like a frustrating day, you'll know why. And I think that's the greatest thing to come out of this. I think just to have that understanding of the other side of being a parent, and kind of just being more understanding and more patient, I think, for what moms have to go through. It's a lot, man. Like, and when I started working from home, I was isolated in this room for a while, and I just kind of let her handle it. And then there's points though where the kids are getting to be too much, and I wasn't really understanding that at first. I was like, just go, be the mom, do your thing. But then you kind of realize, they're looking to you for help because you're here, and you know that you're the other authoritative figure to the kids,
Right.
and it's just a greater not power. I don't know. It's a greater effect on the kids if both of you are there, kind of
United front.
Yeah, there's a united front
Mm-hmm.
for disciplining them, and I've had to learn a lot more patience for everything that.
Keyword, dude.
Yeah, dude, it's a lot. Like
Keyword.
there are times where you're just like, oh, but then at the same time, you have to realize what you're doing is you're giving her some relief, and you're giving her some
Moments to breathe.
moment to breathe. Exactly. And they need, you know, moms, wives, they need moments to breathe, and she necessarily wouldn't have had it if I hadn't been here. And you have to realize like that's the biggest gift or help that you can give to her, is that, she needs to breathe.
Yeah.
And then, so, when us dads, I think we had predetermined roles going in there, or we thought we had predetermined roles from the way our dads handled stuff.
Sure. Absolutely.
And I think, that's changed. Like, it's if you haven't manned up to, take a bigger role in your kids' lives, then, you're not doing it right, I don't think.
Yeah. I agree with you 1000%. I feel, I was very fortunate enough, and the older I get, the more that I'm a dad, which is still weird to say. No matter how long I'll be a dad for, I'm still a few weird saying it still.
Yeah.
Like, why trust me with kids? That's crazy. Anyway, my perspective on, like, how my dad was with my mom was always from the perspective of, he was never the guy that, like, just showed up and, like, I'm the man, I made the money, now just, wine and dine me when I get home.
Right. My dad too was never like that. Yeah.
And so, when you're raised in that environment where, they're still a little bit traditional in certain things, in Chinese household, but for the most part, it was pretty equal, that relationship. It was never really like a submissive and like dominant type of relationship, at least in my perspective as a child. But with translating over to modern day, that affects how I treat my wife, right?
Mm-hmm.
I have my role models, which is my dad, and so I went into this whole thing knowing that I wanted to be as active as possible as a husband, as a dad, helping around the house. And so, from the get-go, it was always about what can I take off her plate. And so, whatever I can take off her plate that she's willing to give up, because my wife does not like to give up certain things, man.
Right,
I will never mop the floor.
Right.
But whatever I can take off her plate, I'm gonna do. So that means that you just need me coming downstairs so you can go pee. All right, I got you.
Bro, that's the biggest thing, because a lot of times if she's putting Dominic to sleep and I'm down here, I'll get a text that's like, "Hey, I need you real quick. I need to go pee." It's little things like that, I think, are the biggest reliefs.
It's so weird, bro. Yeah, and to me, it's like, man, if that's all you need me to do is to come downstairs so you can go pee.
Yeah.
I feel guilty, bro. Like, I feel guilty that I'm sitting upstairs working. You know what I'm saying? Like, my job is easy compared to my wife. From the moment she wakes up to the moment she goes to bed. So you need me to come downstairs so you can go pee, I will hop right outside, tell my girlfriend I'll be BRB.
There you go. Yeah, man. This is the biggest takeaway, is that, even when I go back, or if we have to go back to the office, there's going to be more of an effort to, check in, you okay?
Yeah.
It's rare that, because I work in the city, that I can come home at a moment's notice, like I used to do with Apple, because at Apple, retail, I drove to work. Here I'm commuting, so I'm at the mercy of the trains and and the subway. So yeah,
an audible response.
That's not something I miss. I don't miss that at all. The commute. But yeah, like, I'm here and I'm here.
Yeah.
So.
And you gotta be engaged. When you're home, man. Even though you're working, there's gotta be understanding that, like, listen, yeah, your presence still matters though.
Yeah.
You know,
Mm-hmm.
when you're home, even if I'm upstairs working, it's not like they forget about you and you just disappear and you can just do your work. You know, and I think that's what's cool about my job too, is that there's this understanding that, you know, amongst all of us, especially us parents that work remotely 100%, that like there's going to be times where we need to step away from the computer.
Yeah.
And there's not going to be times that you anticipate.
Mm-hmm.
You know, so why is my life flickering? Can you give me a second?
Yeah.
Can we like pause for a second?
Yeah, hold on.
I'm about to seizure.
Yeah, so just to wrap up this segment, I think the biggest takeaway of, you know, the last couple months being a dad in this environment is just that, you know, you just find a new respect for the role that your wife plays in your family, and it's basically, you know, she's the heart and soul and the you know, just the big
Amen to that.
it's there's a big thing, like I might cry saying it, but like it's a big difference when your wife is actually raising your kids rather than if you're putting them in daycare or they're working. So like as a dad, like you've had to make that commitment that, you know, with no complaints, that you are playing this role, your wife's playing that role, but you're also going to have to help each other out. There's a big understanding there that, hey, I need you and you need me, and we're going to do this together. Yeah. Cool.
Yeah, 100%, dude. Like, you know, one of these things, you know, that, you know, COVID's really, you know, as much as it's been a complete detriment to society and has like literally kind of like torn away the fabric of our society at certain points. So a couple of, like, I guess, glimmers of hope is the fact that, you know, there's appreciation for what moms go through, right? Or what women go through on a daily basis, you know, and us, you know, at times being completely oblivious to it.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Right.
Mm-hmm.
We're, you know, doing our thing, making money, or, you know, whatever the case may be, because, you know, you and I are both from a, you know, single income household.
Yeah.
Right. And so, you know, we think we're doing hard work by, you know, going out, you know, we have to commute and go do this and go do that. And, you know, we have to, you know, bring home the bread, whatever the case may be. But let's be real about one thing that's super clear. If you could put a monetary value behind what our wives do on a daily basis, it would completely dwarf what we do.
Absolutely.
Completely dwarf it.
Yeah. And we'll end it on that note.
They literally, we can't do what we do unless they're doing what we do.
Right. Yeah, that's absolutely the case. Like, and it's a partnership that's got to be realized, that, you know, I'm going to do this so that you can do that, and we can't have one without the other, basically. And then there's a point where you have to, you're going to, husband and wives, they fight, and you're going to have disagreements, you're going to have arguments, but at the end of the day, it's about the family. And no matter how bad the argument gets, and it could get bad, you know, I don't know if you've been in that stage yet, but
sometimes it can be.
Yeah, there's points where it's gonna get, you know, somewhat volatile, you know, just verbally, and contentious. That's a good word. Thanks. And you've got to kind of just take a step back, no matter how bad it gets. If you're really committed and you really love each other, you're gonna make it work out. It's gonna take some time, but I think that's what an adult is being all about, is taking the time, making the effort to fix things, and not just let it go. And on that note, we're going to switch things up a little bit, and we're going to get into a little segment that we like to call
Shoryuflicks.
All right, and as you can tell by the header, we are going to be reviewing the latest Disney live action redo in Mulan, which came out on Disney Plus last Friday for $30. Rental, I guess. So let's get into this real quick. So Disney's testing this with Mulan, this Premier Access joint,
Yeah.
and it's $30. You get to keep the movie as long as you have your Disney Plus subscription. So that, in a sense, might.
Oh, I didn't know that.
Yeah, that in a sense might make it worth it. However, seen the movie twice already, and you see on the headers I put the 2 posters up there because that's probably the only similarity there is between the 2 movies, and even the posters are different in that sense. So I'm gonna let you kick this off because I have my own opinions about the movie, obviously, but I want to hear your take on it. How many times have you seen it? Because I've seen it twice. Obviously, you can. It's multiple rewatches since you're at home, but.
Yeah, my kids have watched it twice already.
Okay.
My 10 and 8-year-old, I've watched it twice. I have only watched it in completion once. Full disclaimer, I was looking forward to this film like a lot. Mainly because I'm just excited to see like someone that looks like being on the big screen again.
Yeah, that's the one thing it's got going for it too. Is like there's a good representation. There's no quote unquote whitewashing, stuff like that.
Yeah.
Well, okay, go ahead, get into it.
There's a detriment to that. I guess I'll hop into that a little bit later, but there was a little bit, in my opinion, by making it very restricted in terms of who they could cast. But so there was a good side about that. But I was really excited about this film, and also because Donnie Yen's in it, and you already know if you watch any of our old videos,
That's your boy.
My boy right there. The guy can do it all. So seeing him in there and playing a somewhat major role is really cool. But so for me, I would approach this film as if it had nothing to do with the animated version of it. Okay. Its predecessor, its original. Main reason is because unless you're gonna make this movie goofy, you can't remake Mulan in the way that we kind of grew up on it. Mm-hmm. So I literally treated this as a whole new film. Didn't even try to put the story out of my mind, and so by doing it that way, I actually thought the film was great. I had a great time watching it. Did it have a couple of things that I could have worked on, and progress-wise in terms of the story, that could have been a little bit better? Yeah, for sure. But the way I saw it was that as a standalone film, if you ignore the actual original, animated version, and I know some people will say that you can't just ignore it. That's the source material. But if you do your best to, this stands alone on its own. It's a film that is worth a piloting of a new way of consuming media. So I think Disney made a really calculated risk on this one. Mm-hmm. But I do think that this film, being that it's live action, and you can't capture the action that they capture unless you do live action, and you also can't capture, I guess, the feelings they want you to really kind of feel in this movie, mm-hmm. unless you remove the goofiness.
Right.
And do I think that the Phoenix was a little bit kind of like, what the heck is the point of this thing? Yes. Like, what the heck did that thing do at all? The whole movie besides fly around.
It's like, yeah. Okay, keep going.
So, there are definitely a couple of plot holes, where I did like that they kind of, had the background music sometimes, and, honored the original film, but what really won me over was the action. Them doing their best to really highlight the Chinese culture and whatnot, and only using Chinese actors for the most part. Mm-hmm. It did become a detriment at times though, because just some of the things that the accents are just too strong. Where it's kind of like I feel like I'm listening to my uncle talk,
right?
And
mm-hmm.
it's like that. So that was
not appealing.
Not for me.
So yeah. I want to get into that too real quick. So sure. For me, the greatest parts of the movie were the landscapes, the action scenes. Some of the humor was good when it hit. A lot of times though, the humorous points that they were trying to go for, yeah, you knew they were trying to be funny, but it's just the execution at times, again, because of the heavy accents, and just kind of it didn't hit well enough. It didn't hit you hard enough to where you had belly laughs, but funny to the point where obviously it was funny, the joke that they were going for.
Right.
But I don't know if you've seen on Cinemax Warrior.
I have not.
Which is I don't know if so I don't know if you know the premise of that. It's actually Bruce Lee's original treatment for how kung fu was supposed to go before they passed him up for it. And there's a group. There's a group headed up by Justin Lin, obviously of Fast and Furious fame and Better Luck Tomorrow. He's actually still one of my favorite filmmakers.
Better Luck Tomorrow.
Yeah, we'll get into a retro review of that. But yeah, Warrior treats it. You know, it takes place late 1800s, early 1900s, where the California's gold rush, where the West has imported Chinese workers, so this, that, and so on and so forth. But the way that they handle accents in that is that they've casted Asian Americans for the most part.
Yep.
And it started off, they're talking Chinese, which is either Cantonese or Mandarin. I can't tell the difference. That's my ignorance. So I'm going to leave that out there right there. But you understand where I'm coming from. They're talking the Chinese dialect, but then like a little zoom happens, and when the zoom comes out, it's English.
Oh.
So I thought that's what they were going to go for in this, just because, if you want to try to stay authentic, but still be, have the appeal to the Western audience, because there's a difference. Let's be honest. There's a difference. Like when Black Panther came out, obviously everybody is speaking English, even though it's like an African accent, but still for the most part understandable, and it's still Western American accents in there. And jokes still land very well. But, obviously the Asian dialects, depending on how strong it is, it just sometimes isn't understandable. And I get you. So that's where I get your point on that. Yeah. So as I was watching the movie, I was hoping that, or as the movie started, I was hoping it would switch from English to maybe a Chinese dialect and then back out, just kind of like to give you the scope. But it didn't do that. And then what was, I guess, the detriment to that is that some of the dialogue, some of the expressiveness, that fell flat too. That fell flat, and I don't think it's a fault to the actress or to any of the actors. It's just it is what it is. Right. Yeah, and the accent's hard to get over because it's not one of those accents that the Chinese accent going alongside English. It's not, it sounds different. Yeah. Like you use the example of Black Panther, right? Where, even though they were like, doing their interpretation of an I guess I'm assuming African accent. Yeah. Hopefully I'm not being ignorant with that. Sosha, I think again, if I pronounce that wrong, sorry. Wow. But it's I'm impressed you even know that. That's great. Yeah. Wow. I don't really know if I said it right. So, but whatever. I know the dialect. Yeah. Right. So, but with their interpretation of it, it's still it meshes better with the English language than the Chinese accent does. Is what I'm trying to say. Yeah. And so I guess for me, like a saving grace of this film, to kind of like uplift that, those the fact that the accents are so strong sometimes, like sometimes the things that Mulan says that I think were meant to hit harder, but they just didn't. They just didn't, yeah. It just didn't. But a saving grace of this film was really the fight choreography. Me with my background, in martial arts and and doing it for so long, I am a stickler for technique. So it's very obvious to me when you're not someone that has a martial arts background, you just learned it for a film. You know what I'm saying? Like, right. Just some people just don't look right doing it. Right. And so, but the people they casted for this film, having Donnie Yen, again, I can gush about him all day, but just the simple act of him spinning the sword around, kind of showcases his skill. It's like, all right, damn. Yeah. And this still your hero. Yeah, he's gonna be forever. Even though he's not even that much older than me. Although actually he's like 50 something. So I'm exaggerating. But
But the choreography, even with the actress, I believe she has no martial arts background whatsoever. So the choreography with her was done very well. Where they obviously you could tell the stuff where it was like a lot of flipping in the air.
A lot of wire
not using
work.
wires was not her, right? Because the hair cover up and everything like that. They were very creative how they kind of disguised her. But the stuff that she was in, outside of the way she held the sword a couple times, her technique was pretty good, considering that she has no background in it. And the guy, oh shoot, I should remember the name. I'm blanking right now. But I guess I can't remember. How can I not remember? This is horrible.
Which one?
The love interest.
I forgot his name too.
I know.
Well, that's another thing too. Is that the characters were kind of, other than the main characters and obviously Donnie Yen's character, they're somewhat, unfortunately, somewhat forgettable. The guys that play Ling and Yao and all them, and Cricket was turned into a human for this movie.
Yep.
There is a loss of the charm, I guess,
yes,
from the original movie to this one, because they basically took Mulan and made it into a martial arts, quote unquote martial arts epic or dramatic epic, something like that.
I think they're going the whole like hero route.
You're right, and it didn't. For me, it didn't hit in
Hero
that sense because Hero was Hero, and nobody doesn't know we're talking about 2002 Hero with Jet Li. Donnie Yen's in that one too. Jet Li's actually in this movie too. He's almost forgettable as the Emperor.
Well, can we do a spoiler real quick on this one?
Sure.
If you
hold on. Spoiler warning, real quick. So 3, 2, 1, and go.
If Jet Li's character could have done that stuff the entire time, why the F did it take till the last battle for him to actually start using this stuff? I know you're the Emperor and you can't die. You're not supposed to fight. But dude, you're catching arrows with one hand.
Plot hole.
You know what I'm saying?
Hole.
That's it. I know it's a martial arts epic, so it doesn't need to be like that realistic. But dude, you could have held your own this entire time.
Yeah, and it's the adversaries too. There wasn't enough menace to them. I don't think not the same that there was in the original movie. And Jason Scott Lee did a good job, I think, for what he was given. By the way, that if who doesn't remember him from being Bruce Lee in the 1993 movie Dragon, that's another nerd fact for you guys. But I think he did well, and he resembled a lot the Hun from.
Yes, he did. He did
from the original version.
Great makeup, great hair,
great makeup.
stylist,
and
whatever.
If you take the makeup away too, it looks like he hasn't aged at all.
Right.
Right. It's weird.
Right, because at first, if you're not a huge Bruce Lee guy, you recognize the face, but you can't pinpoint it. That to me tells me you've aged well.
Yeah. Hey man, Asian don't Asian, right?
We don't.
Not for a while. All right. Finishing it up. So I enjoyed the movie. I don't think it holds a candle to the original. If I were to grade it, I'd give it a B- C+. What do you?
I give it a solid B.
Solid B.
A solid B. I really enjoyed it, actually. I know there's a lot of holes, but I actually really, really enjoyed it.
Yeah, again, if you go into it, like you said earlier, and not expect anything from the original film, and as a standalone film, it's and minus all the political stuff that I don't know if you know is going on around it, it's an enjoyable movie.
Political stuff, as in,
there's some. So the actress Lee Yufei. Again, if I get that wrong, I'm sorry. Lee Yufei.
How dare you? I speak for all Chinese people.
With everything going on with China and Hong Kong, said that she supported Hong Kong police. And
I think she said. I thought she. Oh, she did. Okay, yeah, that's right.
And I don't. With everything, the political climate going on for this freaking year, I don't. We'll stay out of it for now.
Cool. Let's do that.
All right. Let's leave it at that. And then for our next segment, this is going to be our reaction segment. So I've got some stuff prepped for you to react to.
Oh, okay. No jumpers, please.
No jumpers, but we're going to call this one And Save for Later is going to be our reaction segment. So, Mr. Cito, I'm going to pull up some stuff for you to react to. So,
and I literally have no idea what he's going to show me. So
he has no idea what I'm going to show him.
Why do I trust you?
I need you to close your eyes.
Oh boy.
And I was gonna make a really racist joke, but I'm not going to.
It doesn't look any different, right?
All right. Close your eyes. I'm gonna switch to a split screen. And open your eyes. I don't know if you've seen this yet.
I have to watch on the off camera because I can't see on the actual main screen.
That's
but
fine.
yeah.
So let me put the off camera a bit closer.
Why am I looking at
I also don't know if you'll be able to see it, but you know what that is?
That's the He-Man, He-Man, right?
He-Man?
Am I bugging out right now?
Bro.
80s cartoon.
I'm about to not show you this.
Hold up.
Da-da-da.
Thundercats, thank you.
God, you suck.
No, dude, I was literally thinking about 4-year-old me holding my action figure and I couldn't fucking think of the name. I'm like, dude, I was like literally picturing myself holding the action figure.
Okay. You ready?
Oh,
well, actually, I don't know if you can hear it.
Don't be mad at me right now.
I don't know if you can hear it now. Whatever. So the visual should be enough. Ready? So I don't think you've seen this since you have no idea what I'm about to show you. So here we go.
No way. What is that?
So believe it or not, this isn't anything that's coming out. This was made by an independent 3D animator.
He was doing a job at making animators right now, both on file. What the heck, man? That's the resume right there. You can get that anywhere.
It's pretty impressive. I mean, there's stuff in it that's kind of rough, but I knew you'd get a kick out of that.
Just one person made that.
Just one person made that, yeah.
Not a team.
Not a team.
Wow.
I'm going to queue up another thing for you. Just give me a sec. What are your thoughts on that?
Listen, I mean, I was just saying earlier that, I had Lion-O. He was my if I can think back to one of my first toys, it was either Lion-O or Captain Planet. One or the other.
Mm-hmm.
Those are the action figures I remember most. Oh, and Batman from the original movie. Pulled out. So I have a actual a tangible feeling inside when I see stuff with Thundercats.
Mm.
And when I see that sword, dude, and seeing it being raised up in the air, it just brings me back all the way to when I was sitting in front of the TV, way too close than I should have been, hence the glasses, and drooling while watching Thundercats. And so, seeing that and seeing it in modern day take of it, almost anime style, at least, my set was really ghetto right now, by the way, so I had to watch it from really far from through FaceTime, so it looked anime style to me from that video. And that, the possibility of Thundercats with anime type of animation, oh.
Yeah, I think that's something that's going to be looked into. So Thundercats, believe it or not, and is on Hulu now, the original and the 2011 version. So that's something for you to kind of wet your whistle on.
What?
Yeah, it's all on there.
I swear, man, I'm so disconnected.
Yeah, it's great. For me, because Avatar is fully on Netflix now.
Yeah, Legend of Korra's on there. So
And Legend of Korra is on there, and then
Love that
now
show.
you have Thundercats on there, which is awesome. Okay, there's another safe layer. Close your eyes.
okay.
I know about your reaction for this. So I turned the speaker on my computer, so hopefully you can hear it.
Cool.
So
Ready when you are. My eyes
and
are closed.
open.
What am I looking at? Why? You know, I know that this is, you know, a modern. You know why that video is so impressive? You know
Why?
what makes it so impressive is the fact that I know that this was created, you know, relatively recently. I don't know when, but you know, obviously it was created recently. But I literally flashed me back all the way to watching Gremlins. Was that like Gremlins 2, right? Or was that 3? Where
Two.
TV
There's no
studio.
3.
2, right? Oh, that's right. The 2 when they're in a TV studio
Yeah.
and like, doing all those like crazy things. That flashed me back right to that, and it fits in there. You know what I'm saying? It fits.
It makes you surprised that they didn't put that in there,
Exactly.
right?
So that was massively done, and I'm a huge Gremlins fan too. I wish I had a Gizmo.
And then I'm appealing to all your childhood inclinations now.
Listen, all you're missing right now is I got the touch.
Well, no, I'm just kidding.
No.
All right, that's all I got for you tonight. I mean, for the next one, I'll have more for you.
I mean, listen, you keep transferring me back in the time machine, man. I'm all for it.
All right, and we're going to switch gears now for the last segment of the video and last segment for tonight, which I like to call...
ShoryuKICKS.
And what are we looking at here?
What we got there are the Lebron 17 lows. I call it Agimat. I think they're actually technically not called Agimat this year. I'm not sure, actually, to be honest with you.
I think they are.
Are they? I know Titan collaborated with them on it, so...
Yeah.
So, full disclaimer, I had a pair of Agimats. I believe it was LeBron 14s.
Yeah, you're right. The 14s. Those
Yeah.
are the straps around them.
Yeah.
I remember you had those, yeah.
I still have them.
Nice.
They're just at a different place. So I had those, right? And so what I loved about those was that it was so funny. I was going from Australia to the Philippines, and I deliberately wore the Agimats on the plane. And the first thing I walk onto the plane, and it's you know, obviously you could tell, you know, the flight attendants were you know, Filipino.
Mm-hmm.
And so the first thing the guy saw, I was like, dude, nice kicks. I was like, yeah. But they're super dope, you know, because they're all like, it was like triple navy blue and with a couple like, I think it was like gold accents, if I remember correctly.
Mm-hmm.
And so what I like about these is that it completely flips it around, where it's like they completely ignore the fact that they use blue usually. And
Yeah.
it's doing almost like an all red with like gold accents.
Mm-hmm.
So to me, like this, if they're going for like the whole royalty look, you know, what LeBron is known for sometimes, I think they did a really good job. And the fact that, you know, they're able to kind of like mask the kind of clashing styles of LeBron 17 are kind of.
Yeah.
Low pop. I think it does a really good job at it.
Yeah, I like the aesthetic of these two. I also was a big fan of last year's Agimat, which was, again, the navy blue and gold highlights.
Mm-hmm.
But this one, I think, tech-wise, and just, there's a lot more detail in these.
Yes.
Where there was a significant amount of detail in the last year's model too, but I think the embossed leather, and just the overall, the red really pops and it stands out, because if you were playing ball and people are watching you from the stands, if they see a navy blue shoe, it can almost just be like, it can almost fit into the background. But if you're wearing a red shoe, especially with the tint of the red that's on here, you can really make out the detail, and it makes a gold pop as well. And I think as far as technology wise, the 17 is actually pretty good with the almost a full length Air Max unit.
Yep.
And the overall sculpt of it. And this is the low. I prefer the low. The big one with the advanced battle knit on the 17 is a little bit too much. And I had the 16 Oreos last year. And I still wear them. They're still pretty comfortable, but at times if I just want to slip them on, it's a little bit of a hassle. But I prefer lows. And I think overall, since our last sneaker review, I got the lows for the Kobe's, and I think I prefer lows just like going forward, because I know we did reviews on the Mellow, we did reviews on the KD, which was a low, or low /
the 28s also, I think, too, right?
The 28s were not a low; those were a mid, but those were the first like totally. They didn't call it Flyknit; they called it something else for the Jordan. I forgot what it was now. But I think those are the most comfortable ones I've played in. But the Kobe's were definitely they still hold up 6 years later as far as the grip and everything. And I think I prefer playing in a low overall.
Is it because of the court feel?
Yeah, that, and they're just easier to get on. And I think it's
good point.
I don't like having a lot of stuff around my ankles. I like it to be a little bit loosey goosey. And I think I definitely get these, but I'd have to be. I'd like to wear them. Like, these are like sneakers for like an all-star game or like a special occasion. And I think I wouldn't break these out unless it was going to be like a special game, like a game 7 or like an elimination game.
You can rock them you can rock them if you're still working on Apple during the holidays.
Oh yeah, those are perfect. Yeah, because we're wearing the red fleeces and whatnot.
Exactly. I mean, I like them also. I know it's the trend of LeBron's, like the LeBron lows typically. It's almost like a pared down version sometimes.
Mm-hmm.
What I like about these is that even though they removed the what are they called? Not Air Max units, because the Air Max is on the back. They removed the pods in the front that contain the Zoom Air.
The hex pods, yeah.
Yeah, exactly. And so they removed that, and instead they put React in there.
Yeah.
And so some people actually prefer to have foam in the front as opposed to having having those pods in the front.
Mm-hmm.
And so I think for me, since I'm more casual sneaker wearer nowadays than anything performance wise, I feel like I haven't tried those on, but I feel those would be way more comfortable walking around in.
Agreed. Yeah. So I think we don't have the sneaker like we usually used to. I mean, full disclaimer too, we had to stop this channel originally because the shoes just got too expensive, and we really just couldn't keep up.
And with the help from friends on in the back.
Yeah, even with help from friends on the back end, it was just getting to be too much. But with that, we're bringing this channel back. We'll be doing this the same format of content, hopefully for each episode, every Tuesday and Thursday, if not maybe once a week. And we want to make sure that the 1.2K subscribers that are on this channel, we want you to know that we're resurrecting this channel and we're bringing it back just for you. And we want to thank you for the support that you've given us in the past, and we want to hopefully have that continued support forward and hopefully grow this channel even more. And with that, I want to thank you for watching the Hyper Ninja Revenge, and we'll see you next time. Peace.
Adios.
Adios.